Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Arwa. This is Michael. I am the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons. And welcome to the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT or Stealth. And you say, I've just subscribed to your site. I've been trying to improve my English level in many ways, including increasing vocabulary, speaking to native speakers. You want to see here practicing TOEFL exams as well. That way you have the ing. You say, but I still have some problems, especially with the speaking, since I took a longer time to prepare my answer than the specified time, as well as I can't get the answer within the specified time except after trying it many times, so as to get all the required information for the full answer within the time limit of the answer. Now, to help you with that, here's what I want you to try out, Arwa. Now, especially at my website, I have over 300 independent speaking practice tests. That is way, way more practice than what you need, right? But I have that. I also have 30 integrated speaking practice tests. Now, for the first 5 practice tests that you take, I want you to write out your response, write it out, type it out, practice it several times, and then record it. Now, if you do this a few times, it helps you organize faster later on. Now, when you're organizing those speaking practice tests, organize them in 3 parts: your introduction, your body, along with a conclusion. Remember, though, the most important thing here is your introduction and the body of the speech, not the conclusion. Now, once you've done 5 speaking practice tests where you've been writing the whole thing out, maybe it took you 20 minutes to write it, right? Now, once you've done those 5, then here's the next step. The next time, when you get to number 6 through maybe 10, now give yourself 5 minutes to write down some notes, to organize your speaking response, and then take those speaking tests. Now, once you've done 6 through 10, then maybe 11 through 15, instead of giving yourself 5 minutes, give yourself 4 minutes to organize those. And then the next 5 speaking tasks, give yourself 3 minutes, and on and on and on, until eventually you're down to 1 minute, then you're down to 30 seconds, and then finally you're down to 15 seconds. And trust me, once you get down to the 15 seconds, you'll be able to do it. You see what we're saying? You see my process here? So this is just my suggestions for helping you deal with your problems organizing the speaking within the time limit. Now let's go to the reading. You say, for the reading while practicing, I might complete 39 out of 42 questions and then get about 20, I think you mean correct. In the listening, generally whether the listening section itself, no, I think you'll get 20, which means 20 points out of 30. You said in the listening generally, for the listening section itself or the integrated part, I might listen to words which I can't recognize, but the scoring for the listening, I get about 80% in some practice tests. On the writing, I generally find difficulty concentrating in a good way with the 30 minutes for the independent essay. I need longer time. Now let's go back, like what I said with the speaking. When you're doing the independent writing and integrated writing practice test at my website, your goal is to complete the practice test in 30 minutes or in 20 minutes. But what you might start in initially is give yourself an hour for the independent writing test. Maybe do 2 or 3 practice tests, giving yourself an hour. And then from there, go down to 45 minutes. Complete maybe 3 or 4 more practice tests. And then from there, drop down to maybe 40, and then maybe 35, and then finally 30. So do the same thing with the integrated. Obviously, you have only 20 minutes to do it, but you can start out by taking more time and gradually reduce the time limit until you can complete it within about 20 minutes. What you're doing, the way you're using me is you complete the practice test, you email me to let me know, and I'm going to give you a score. I'll give you some feedback so you can see how you're doing. All right, let's go to the next thing. You say, I need longer time. Okay, I didn't take you say you have not taken the TOEFL before, but you're required to have 21, 18, 26, and 24. I want to challenge myself and take the 30-day program for the 7-step system. What do you think? I don't know. I don't think that's long enough. The thing that worries me here, Arwa, is reading and listening. Okay, I don't see that as a big problem, but 26 on the speaking and 24 points in the writing is, I don't think 30 days, this is just my opinion, but I don't think that 30 days is enough time to help you solve either the speaking and the writing problems that you need to solve. And I don't know until you do your pronunciation pretest. And by the way, I have sent you your username and your password, right? So you can start getting access to my course. But I don't know specifically what your speaking problems are. If you have a very heavy non-native speaker accent and you have some grammar and some vocabulary problems with your speaking, it's probably going to take longer than 30 days. It may take 3 or 4 months, right? It just depends on what your problems are. The same thing goes with the writing. Is I don't really know what your writing problems are at this point, so I would be cautious. I think 30 days, in my opinion, is probably putting yourself in a rush. You're probably trying to do too much too quickly, and you end up cramming and not learning. And I don't like anyone to cram. Cram means you just kind of get a whole bunch of information in a very short period of time only for taking the test, and hopefully you get a high score and then you move on. But that's not what my program does. What my program does is I help students learn and develop, improve their academic English proficiency, not just for the TOEFL, but for their university classes. So after you're done with my program, you're not going to forget everything you've learned when you're done with my program. You'll be able to use these things, I think, when you're completing your courses at the graduate or undergraduate level. So that's kind of, and I know what you're saying is you get motivated by having a limit to end before losing your patience. You say, what are your guidelines to reinforce my withdrawals? There's no guidelines. People who use my course, you use it as long as you need it. When you don't need it anymore, you cancel. You will cancel your payments, your subscription with me at your PayPal account. That's kind of how it works. So you say, okay, let me give you my recommendations. I recommend, now of course you can do whatever you want. You can use my course in any way you want. Once you get access to my course, you have complete, unlimited access to all 630 lessons in the vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, reading, listening, writing, and speaking sections. You'll have access to everything. You can do whatever you want for as long as you want. Now, personally, based on the fact that you need 26 and 24 on the speaking and writing sections of the exam, Arwa, I recommend my 90-day 7-step TOEFL study guide for you. I recommend that. And hopefully, during those 3 months, you will be able to work through any of those speaking and writing problems, and maybe you can solve them faster. I don't know, maybe, but we don't know until you try, right? So I will put a link to the 90-day TOEFL study plan for you. You can click on it, Arwa, in the description box for this particular video. You will see the link to the 90-day TOEFL study plan that I recommend for you. Alrighty, anyway, thank you very much. You had a very long description, and I apologize I gave you a really long answer.